Hello everyone, welcome back to the Basic Text. My name is John Clayton. I'm a recovering drug addict and alcoholic, and I've been clean and sober since February 21st, 2021. And thanks for joining me again today. If you've been here before, then welcome back, and if you're new to the channel, then I'm glad you finally found me, because you're in the right place. Wow, January 4th already. The only requirement. When he got to NA, he was also in a drug replacement program. He wanted what he saw in the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous, but was afraid of returning to his old life if he quit methadone. For 10 months, he went to meetings every day, and finally he got clean. Our third tradition states that the only requirement for membership is a desire to stop using. I don't know if I had a desire to stop using when I came to my first NA meeting, but I sure had a desire to stop hurting. I was very, very tired. Tired enough to be curious about NA. Tired enough to listen. At my first NA meeting, something very powerful happened to me. I met addicts who were recovering. I knew lots of addicts, of course. I had been on the streets for years at that point, and every person in my life was an addict. But all of my addict friends were still using. I had never met a clean addict before. This was something very new and attractive to me. These people shared their stories, and I identified instantly. Clearly, they were people like me. The only difference was that there was something else going on in their lives besides the daily struggle to score and stay out of jail. They shared about living in recovery. There was a light on behind their eyes, and their lives seemed to be full of hope and possibility. At first, at that first meeting, I was the last person in the circle to share. I identified as an addict, but stated truthfully that I had a lot of reservations about never using again. I told the group that I was taking a break from the street and had stopped shooting dope, but that I was on methadone maintenance and also still using other substances. To my surprise, no one judged me. They welcomed me to the fellowship of NA and told me to keep coming back. You are right when you belong. You are right where you belong, they said. They gave me telephone numbers, a meeting list, and something even more powerful, their acceptance. I don't know why I decided to be honest at the first meeting. Years on the street had made lying and deception my natural response to everything, new situations. But for some reason, I realized that there was no point lying to these people. The only person I would be hurting was me. I thank my higher power that I was guided to speak simply and honestly about where I actually was, rather than to put on a front. That decision probably saved my life, because I told the truth. People in NA were able to tell me the things I needed to hear. What really impressed me was that no one told me what to do. Instead, they shared their own experiences. It was up to me to decide how to use this new information on my own life. Over time, I began to accept that the tools that were working for others could work for me too. One of the biggest challenges I faced as a new member in recovery was the fact that I came into the fellowship on methadone maintenance. I had a lot of reservations about getting clean and was particularly scared about getting off methadone. Being in a drug replacement program had helped me get some structure into my life after years of living on the street. I now had a roof over my head and was working again. I was afraid that if I gave up methadone, I would return to the insanity of homelessness and life as a criminal. As always, the wisdom and nobody experience of other NA members helped guide me through this dilemma. Nobody told me what to do. Instead, by quiet example, they showed me the possibilities of a life free from active addiction. Over time, I came to believe that being employed and off the street was not enough. Until I stopped using, whether the drugs were legal or illegal, I was not going to experience the full benefits of recovery. I made the decision to begin the process of detoxing from methadone maintenance. Getting clean was very hard for me, both physically and emotionally. I came to NA meetings on the daily basis for 10 months before I experienced my first day clean. There were no role models for me. I was the only person at my methadone clinic who was voluntarily detoxing. Every day I would have to run a gauntlet of drug dealers padding pills as I walked to and from the clinic. Another challenge that I had to face was within the rooms of NA. I had learned from my very first meeting that it was important that I share openly and honestly. When I shared, I told the truth. I was not yet clean, but I was working really hard to get there. To my surprise, some people were really upset when I shared in NA meetings. One person came up to me after a meeting and told me that I had no right to share until I was clean. I was really confused and hurt the first time this happened. It was the first time I had not felt welcomed in NA. Fortunately, an older member overheard the exchange and took me aside. She told me that the only requirement for NA membership was the desire to stop using. She measured me. You just keep coming back, honey. You're right where you are, where you belong. I thank my higher power that I listened to her message of love and acceptance. I did keep coming back. Every time I talked about my struggles and my doubts, members would share something from their own experience that was helpful to me. The wisdom and experience of other NA members was critical to the process of my getting clean. They even helped me get health insurance and get into the hospital so that I could complete the final stages of my detox under medical supervision. Thanks to NA, when I walked out of that hospital clean for the first time in my adult life, I had a sponsor, a home group, and a service position waiting for me. Most importantly, I had admitted that I was powerless over addiction and had come to believe that the only power greater than myself could restore me to sanity. I didn't realize it at the time, but by choosing to keep coming back, by listening, by learning, and by following the examples of other NA members, I had made a decision to turn my will and my life over to a power greater than myself. By the grace of that power, I am still clean today, 21 years later. Wow. Amen. Good for him. Yeah, it sure is a struggle. Heck, I seen one girl today. She was shoveling the main road with her grocery cart as she was pushing it down the street. But thank you for joining me today, everyone. I appreciate every one of you. It would be great if you hit like and subscribe. Um, I hope you come back. And thanks again. If nobody's told you today that they love you, well, I love you, and we will see you tomorrow. Bye for now.